It's a car, it's an icon, it's a roller coaster. It's James Bond's car brand, and it's about to take a spin through London's financial district. The British car maker Aston Martin has announced plans to list on the London Stock Exchange. Joining us now for a little bit more on the store is our managing editor for Global Business and Europe, Benedikt Kammel. Benedikt, good to see you this morning. So London wins the prize. The iconic Aston Martin brand will come to the market there. Valuation, first of all, is going to be key, and I know that Anna wants to know the ticker they might use.
Well, if you look south to Ferrari, they took the ticker RACE. So the race is on to find something exciting. Could be Bond, could be 007, could be something dull like Aston Martin, Lagonda, AML. We shall see. We'll get some details on September 20th. That's when they want to put out the full prospectus. So they've given themselves a little bit of wiggle room on the details. But they came out with a fairly chunky statement this morning saying, yes, we want to float, giving some numbers, and they all look fairly healthy, which supports this plan. Revenue is up, earnings are up, unit sales are up. Right now, they're targeting around 7,000 cars by next year, and they want to double that to about 14,000 cars in the midterm. So they really see a growth trajectory there for the company.
Benny, good morning to you. So if you want to get your hands on these shares, how much of them are going to be freely floating on the London Stock Exchange, and how much is going to be still locked up? That could be an important factor for some people.
That's right. So we're still poring over the details. The release came out a short while ago. It looks as if they might have some extra shares withheld for customers. So if you are an Aston Martin owner, then you might be in the money on this one. But in terms of the flotation, we'll have to wait and see. On the exact details, the 20th of September is the full release. For the time being, it's more or less the intention and sort of laying out the strategy why they're doing this. The company says the time is right. High net worth individuals are out there. They're looking for these types of cars. They're branching out into different segments. They want to come out with an SUV at some point. They're reviving the Lagonda brand. They want to make that all electric. So all those things combined, they feel that now's the time to do this. And as I said, they're looking at Ferrari, who've had an incredible run on the stock market, and they're thinking, well, if they can do it, then why can't we?
Absolutely. And of course, Benny, the one thing that they've got to do is sort of emulate that movement by the likes of Mercedes, which is stretching the brand. You talk about the SUV, but if they're going to double the numbers, they're going to have to stretch to the other side as well in terms of coming perhaps down the cost chain as well and give us something a little bit cheaper and more affordable than the £200,000 DB11.
Yes, that's going to be the issue. How do you sort of preserve the brand cachet, but make it accessible for people like you and I? And that's going to be difficult. It's easy to sort of sell these super high expensive companies. They've come out with a couple, and that's really something that supported the numbers. But will they have cars that are sort of in the Porsche range? Maybe that's something that we'll have to look at. The brand has interestingly also branched out into sort of the luxury segment more broadly. There's a shop in central London that sells sort of Aston Martin paraphernalia, so you can buy bags and key rings and other things. There's a yacht. There are apartments that are sort of kitted out with Aston Martin look and feel. So they are already sort of testing the brand architecture and seeing how far can they stretch it. But where will the brand ultimately land in terms of the cars? The breadth of cars they have on offer, that's going to be very interesting. Because as you say, 14,000 cars, that's a lot of cars to sell, and they can't do it all with sort of north of 1 million type special editions.